Hello tankers and tankettes, and welcome to a viewer spotlight, but one with a difference. This is actually going to be a pair of replays. It's going to be a double feature, and they're both going to be of the Comet. Now these have been sent in to me by Epic Rabbit 95, who's actually in Cirque 2, and yeah, I decided to do both because the Comet is kind of, it has a reputation, and I think the tier 7 mediums generally have a reputation. And these are both very, very good matches, and they show that you can actually, in the right circumstances, you can do actually really quite a lot. So we're on Campingovka, it's encounter mode, and on this first match, he's actually bottom tier. There's a whole bunch of tier 8s and a whole bunch of, well, not that many tier 9s, there's only a couple of tier 9s on each side, but it's more tier 8s than tier 7s, and he's taking this route and he's going here right from the get-go, and the Comet does have the ability to do this it's a bit less mobile than the Cromwell, and I should also say I don't actually have one myself as of making this video, but this particular position here, if you can get here in a medium, especially one with decent gun depression, if nothing else you can spot for your team, but the rest of the team has to be up to par. So it's a risky strategy, but it can pay off handsomely. So he's clearly intending that he'll get here and he'll get some spotting for his team. And he's actually platooned with Tumlan, who's also in Cirque 2, I should mention that. So there we go, he's spotted an IS-8, and with that gun, okay, he's got some premium loaded, but with that gun, that's kind of risky. Side of a KV-4, premium rounds. He doesn't have many of them in this match. Burn. All the burning. Well, he got that KV-4's attention, that's for sure. We're not even 2 minutes in, he's already actually done 700 damage. This is not bad. And this entirely depends on the enemy team's reaction. It depends on the, what the rest of your team is doing. At the moment, he's pretty much on his own, because all these guys are here, and the rest are, the friendlies are all on the hill still. Well, someone did just whack that KV-4, so unfortunately he's used his few premium rounds, but oh, there we go, didn't matter anyway, that was just regular APCR. So oh, stuff going on the other side. Fortunately they're not shooting at him, and fortunately the people in front of him, the enemies closest to him, aren't actually pushing to attack him. They just basically let him sit there, which is a big mistake on their part. So he's getting some nice sniper shots on this T-29 side armor, and the penetration doesn't matter too much for that, fortunately. And he finished the guy off. Oh, one more. Nah, someone else got it. Well, there's still some nasty stuff here. There's an STI that's really problematic with this gun, that level of armor. Object 704, but they are of an AC-48. That'll do nicely. And he's in a really good position here. I mean, the score is 7-2. The guys have swept up on the hill really nicely. The tier 9s on the enemy team were just being complete. Look at where they were sat. You got the 704 and the STI. Just, it's not like there's even artillery in this match. The STI should have been up there on the brow of the hill, using and abusing his strong turret. This was, I don't want to say, it's like this was a strong team. The enemy team was, in comparison, a very weak team, and their top tiers did not pull their weight at all. But I decided to feature this because even bottom tier, Epic Rabbit does quite a nice amount of damage. This is actually his Ace Mastery badge in the Comet, and you can see why, because he's damaging a lot of higher tier tanks. And he'll do more damage than this yet, believe me. Now STI, that's a really tough target. That STI just was not pulling his weight at all. That was just a waste of a tier 9 tank, what he was doing. But the rest of the friendlies, I mean, we've only lost 4 tanks. Oh wow, he actually got a pen on that side armor. That was obviously another one. That was obviously a high damage roll. I mean, that's a shot that's not going to go through more often than not, but bear in mind penetration is subject to RNG as much as damage, so there's a chance, you know, and especially if you've got a rapid firing gun, it's not going to cost you that much. So 25, nearly 2600 damage. That's incredibly low percentage shots here because this guy's at kind of an angle. You see the marker there is yellow, so these are not likely to go through, but some of them are, and you can't predict whether they're going to or not. This STI is just complete, I don't know. And he gets the kill. Very nice on a tier 9. So there's just a tank destroyer left now, and this enemy team was not very challenging, but I think what Epic Rabbit, you know, obviously the behaviour of the enemy team, especially their top tiers, had a great influence. Killed a 9. Great influence on how this actually wound out. You know what the final result was, but don't discount Epic Rabbit's contribution here, because he actually did, for a bottom tier medium tank, a pretty respectable amount of damage. He actually got the best score. He did 3k damage, and that was actually the second most damage of anyone on his team, including some of the other tier 9s. He did double the damage of the friendly ISA. Yeah, it's just absolutely, I don't know. And the scores on the enemy team were pretty dire. The only one on the enemy team that did a respectable amount of damage was the AC-48. The STI was in completely the wrong position. A lot of the, you know, IS-3s, 149 damage. Just yeah, those 2 AC-48s actually, but one did a respectable amount. Object 74 did 700 damage. IS-8 did 0 damage. So that would have been a win, I think, even without Epic Rabbit's contribution. But he made it that much easier for his team, and you know, I felt it was worth including this. The next replay is going to be of a more epic nature. So you've had a chance to look at the score screens, you've had a chance to look at the pretty screen caps, and we will get on with replay number 2. So this time it's Ensk, and it's encounter mode again, and for a change he's top tier, so this is much more friendly matchmaking. There's it's actually about a third tier 7s, a third tier 6s, and a third tier 5, so it's there's no, that's sort of unusual actually. I don't see that very often. But this is a better map for I think for the Comet, because there's more. It's all mostly flat, and that means he can make the best use of the Comet's mobility here. But this is going to be rather a different match compared to the last one. I think not least because he is bottom tier, top tier rather. Top bottom. That's the same thing, right? That's maybe not. No. Okay. So he's going to head into town right from the get-go. He's you know, he's a top tier, and being a top tier tank comes with certain responsibilities, more so if you're a heavy than a medium, but there's not that many heavies on each side. In fact, our side has got one more heavy than the enemy side at the top, but they've got actually not sure what they've got extra. I think they've got no, I'm not seeing any difference there, so maybe matchmaking just slightly balked the other team, but I say slightly. These things actually often don't matter that much. So there we go, sneaky early shot. And you'll notice he's actually got, I shouldn't have mentioned in the last one as well, he's actually using binoculars on his Comet, which is an interesting choice. But given the armour of the Comet, it's probably not the worst idea in the world. And it's clearly working for Epic. I haven't actually looked up his Comet stats generally, but both these games were very well played. And I know the Comet is not exactly a popular tank, but I think in the right hands it can perform pretty well. Another thing to notice is he's carrying a lot more premium ammunition this time round. Now, in theory he doesn't really need it because it's a tier 7 max battle, but it might come in very useful. And I know a lot of people, you know, Quickie Baby, for instance, is completely unashamedly carries an awful lot of premium ammo on his Comet, and he really likes the Comet. But I think he has said himself that the only way he makes it work with his playstyle is that you know, he carries a lot of premium. Like KV1, by the way, obviously using 57mm, because there's no way, you know, it couldn't be any other gun. But there we go, he's just gobbled up 2 tier 5 heavies. And I don't know what that Churchill 1 was thinking. You don't go hull down in a Churchill 1, there's no point. So let's take a quick look at the minimap. It's not looking good. Half the team is dead already, 4-7. They've made a massive push. You know, most of their team has actually pushed up the 7, 8, 9 lines. They've overwhelmed the few tanks that are in their way. This is not looking good. So Epic is actually helping. Well, that S38NA, that was just a kill secure, pure and simple. But you know, they're clearing up their back so that they're not going to have anything shooting them. There's a KV1S and a Panzer IV in the cap. I don't know why they're there. They should be running away at this point. They should be grouping up with the friendlies. They're just on hiding to nothing, sitting in the cap at this point. But once we've taken care of this Comet, that means we can turn our attention to the whole mass of tanks that's coming down from the other direction. And there's the leading units already. Now, can I get this Comet? Oh, someone else does. This is going to wind up a very few tanks doing all the work in this battle. It's going to be Epic, it's going to be the SU-122 44 even. And the Panzer IV actually managed to get a kill as well. But there's going to be very, very few people in this team that actually end up with any kills at all. There we go, that's another one down. And because he's got comparatively a large amount of oh nice, a large amount of premium ammo, he's actually starting to run out of regular AP shells. But you'll notice he's displaying a very good knowledge of weak spots here. He's aiming for lower front plates, he's aiming for places where he knows he can penetrate, like for instance on this AC. There we go. And this has all been with AP shells so far. Yeah, he didn't notice those guys coming round. Now that happens sometimes, you get so focused on what's in front of you. But look at the kills he's got, and look at how many enemies are left now. We've actually evened things out. Fortunately, the 122-44 is dead. This KV-1S is a kind of a dangerous opponent. Long reload time, but Epic really can't afford to take any more hits now. Oh, one into the turret of the ARL. He clearly knows that thing's got a weak turret. And 1 hit point. This is not looking good. There's a tier 6 medium left, but oh, ouch. I missed though, fortunately. Or did it bounce? It's sometimes hard to tell these things. Oh, medium in the rear. That bounce on the rear armour. Oh my word. Oh my word! Okay, this is where it gets silly. And another bounce! So that's 3 bounces in a row. 1 on the Comet's front rear armour and 2 on the Comet's front armour. And one of those was the KV-1S gun. So that's the part where it got a bit outrageous. You know, that... I mean, he's been playing very, very well, but my word, that was incredibly lucky. So we're on to the premium ammo now, because he's got really, you know, you wouldn't use HE. And the problem is, yeah, if he gets hit, it might be a one-shot, because, yeah, 410, if it's a above average roll for that KV-1S, this could be nasty. This is tense, you guys. It's a bit of a Mexican standoff. One tank, you know, he could potentially kill the KV-1S with 1 shot, but that's the other way around. Oh, no, 9 hit points. No, 17, okay. We got this guy. Oh my word, that was close. That was all the way to the end, and that was some carry. I mean, my word, 10 kills. So that's a Pools medal then. What else did he get? What else, you know, what else did he get out of that battle? Well, Top Gun, obviously, and a Steel Wall, surprisingly, and I think that was largely because of those bounces at the end there. That was really quite something. I mean, potential damage received over 3,000. and most of the shots fired at him did actually penetrate. There were 6 non-penetrating shots, but one of them fortunately was from a KV-1S and the other was from the T-34. So that was some incredible luck right there. And you can see the amount of XP he got out of this was really very nice. Not actually as much as his last game, because obviously he was shooting at higher tier targets, but he's done a bit more damage in this one. He's obviously made more kills. Yeah, he did everything right there. And with that dose of incredible luck, it worked out very nicely. So yeah, well done, Epic Rabbit. That was a pretty hard carry, because that was pretty much the entire enemy team. I mean, if we look at the scores on the enemy team for that one, we see that he actually killed the most dangerous enemy when he killed that T-34-1. That was the guy that was doing a lot of the damage on that push on the enemy side. But even so, just against those sheer weight of numbers, that was incredibly well done. And also a shout out to Supermuck in his SU-122-44, without whom also that would have not been possible. He himself did nearly 3k damage and 4 kills. He actually did nearly as well, well, I'll say nearly as well as Epic Rabbit. He still did he got 1k XP out of that. So between those two, they got 14 kills. They basically won that match. So yeah, he had to be feeling. Both of them had to be feeling pretty good after that. I think Epic Rabbit especially. So Comet, I will be getting one myself at some point. We'll see how it is, but I think in the right hands, if you're a confident medium player, you can make it work quite well. And I think Epic Rabbit clearly knows what he's doing in that machine. So if you liked these replays, you can leave a comment, you can hit the like button, you can subscribe to my channel. I have a Facebook page you can check out, and of course, as always, stay tuned for more.